Hello and welcome to another episode of Launch Legends. Today we're joined by Andy Fletcher of Convertri. Most entrepreneurs struggle to get any traction on their product. Not for Andy. When they launched their product, Convertri, they instantly generated $750,000. Yes, that's one launch. So Andy talks in detail how he managed to do that with the help of affiliates. He also talks about how he actually recruited those affiliates and convinced them to get behind him. So there's a ton of value in this episode. You don't want to miss it. But before, if you're watching this on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. And if you're listening to this on a podcast, please subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Thank you. Hey, Andy, thank you for being on the show. So let's start with telling me a little bit about yourself and what you've been doing and how you started Convertri.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so my name's Andy Fletcher. I live in London. I work from home. I'm in my home office at the moment. I mean, I guess everyone is, but this is my normal life at the moment, minus the Corona cut that I'm sporting at the moment. I got into digital marketing, it's over a decade ago now, that I became self-employed after I was working for a startup in London, who shall remain nameless, but they were a pretty useless company. They burned through £10 million worth of VC in 4 years. And I was their tech operations manager. And when I say they burned through it, I wish to be clear. It's not like they made that money. They had 10 million quid worth of investment. And when they went out of business, they burned through all of that and another 2 million quid worth of debt to other people. And I think the total revenue the company made in the 4 years they've been alive was £500,000. It was brutal. And we all got called into the boardroom one day. Big announcement, everyone. We were I was fucking naive. I was really young. It's about 11 years ago now, so we would have been about 24, 25. And, I remember we all thought our stock options were about to be worth something. And the president of the company stands up and he goes, yeah, so we're out of money and we can't pay you this month. But if everyone keeps working, then we think we'll be able to pay you next month. And I was just sort of there wait, paying me is optional? What kind of is this? So I explained fuck you to my boss and quit and went self-employed. So it was if I'm going to take on this risk, I might as well at least have the upside if it works out. And I did a variety of stuff. I did use my SEO skills to start with, just for clients, made some SEO products, got into the affiliate marketing space to sell those SEO products, then was built an affiliate network to get other people's products onto the network. That went really well. And then so I've been in that digital marketing space for ages. And then when we had the idea for Convertri, that kind of meant that I already had a lot of the contacts that I needed, having built it up over a long period of time. So I knew a lot of the big players to go out there and say I've got this thing, I want you to promote it. Will you get involved in this initial launch?
So let's go back a little bit. So when you said that you had a lot of SEO products which you were selling through your affiliates, how did you even come to that? So a lot of people, when they go online and how to make money online, they struggle. How did you even get to that part?
Sorry, you cut out. I only got 3 words of that.
I'm sorry. So a lot of people, when they start out, they really struggle to find a way where they go online, they look for how to make money online, and for a couple of years they struggle before they find something which works for them. So you started building your SEO products, and then you found affiliates to actually promote it. How did that come about?
So I mean, the original SEO skill story is the one I like to tell. So it was a mate of mine at the company I worked for. He knew I was a sucker for reading anything. And he heard from the higher ups were looking for somebody that understood SEO. And the bastard went out at lunchtime, bought a SEO for Dummies book, just left it on my desk. And then I'm sat there flicking through it as the big cheeses in the company come wandering around. And they're like, oh, Andy, you know SEO. You're going to be our guy for these shitty celebrity websites. So I was elected the SEO guy for it, thanks to my arsehole mate, who stitched me right up. But as a result, I learned quite a lot about SEO, getting pages to rank, the importance of backlinks and so on, which back then was really easy stuff. And so as a result, I kind of came into the digital marketplace with a skill. And it's, I was rubbish at it, but it's still not that hard. If you can rank pages, or certainly back then, that's all you needed to make money.
Mm-hmm.
Go to somebody and be like, if I can get you a page one ranking for this term, will you pay me money? Yes. Okay. Yeah. And come back a week later and it's like, okay, you're ranking for that term, you owe me money. And yeah, some of them didn't pay and it didn't always work out. But like, if you can do that, like you can't really fail to make some money from it.
Right. So your first product, the first SEO product you launched, let's talk about how did you get the affiliates interested in that product and what was the launch about? How did you structure it?
Oh, okay. So this is going way back. So the original product was something called Backlink Flood, because that was the thing at the time. It was always like had to have backlink in the name, and then you just had like other people did like Backlink Goldmine and Backlink Ultimatum, and mine was Backlink Flood. And these, Anyway, so the goal I set myself was I wanted to get the owner of the Warrior Forum to promote it. Mostly because a load of people told me that couldn't be done. And that's just the quickest way to get me to do something is to tell me it can't be done. And I'm like, no, I can do this. So I set about, I contacted, I was working with a lady named Angela Edwards who did some of the original backlinks packs, which back then, literally all you needed was the sites didn't have to be relevant. They could be spammy as anything, as long as you had a link from site A to site B, it helped site B rank. So she had this monthly thing. It was $5. She had 10,000 members at some point. She made a fortune off it. And it's just a list of 25 sites a month that you could go and get a backlink from. I knew her. I'd help her set up her membership site software. So she was a really good candidate as an affiliate. And then I hit up all the other big SEO guys on the Warrior Forum, or big, so I say big, some of the middle lower tier guys, that it was just they were more my level, more accessible. And I gradually, one by one, got them to promote, got them some results. They made money. Then I got a testimonial off them. I used that testimonial to approach the next guy, and I did that. And once I'd done 8 of those, I took all of those and wrote this big proposal to Alan Says, the guy who owned the Warrior Forum at the time, sent it over, and it's this is, I've tested this to death. This is a hot topic. This is free money to you if you promote this now. Here's 8 testimonials from 8 of the biggest guys on your forum talking about how profitable it was. How great the product is, will you do it? And he accepted. He said yes. He got really excited. He asked me for details about it. I got overexcited, and I sent him dozens of different headlines and angles and ideas and all of this stuff. And all the fucker did to promote it was he put a banner at the top of the forum that read "free traffic, click here." And he got tons of clicks to the site. Clearly we both made a load of money off it. But I couldn't believe how simple he boiled it down to after all the complex stuff I'd sent him.
You said that was your first big launch where you made the big money. Not the big money.
It was definitely by proper standards. It was not big money, but certainly for the time, that was the real this is going to work. This is great. I've made proper money out of this, not just sort of month to month, client here, client there.
So let's talk about the traffic you got on the website against how much money you made, the conversion rate.
Oh God, I couldn't even tell you now. That was a decade ago.
Okay, so I'm guessing
I've got interesting numbers for the more recent stuff. I think I made about 10 grand off it.
That's still not bad for the first launch.
That might not even have been that product now. I think, I don't know. That was too long ago.
So let's go a little bit forward. Let's talk about Convertri, your biggest thing going on right now, and the one you had the biggest launch for. How did you start? How did you come up with the idea?
So the idea was part personal frustration. I launched a load of other products, and every time I seemed to either ended up hand coding the HTML myself or outsourcing it, and then changes where again either I had to do it or it was really bad when if you sometimes I had to outsource the sales pages, and I'm a developer myself, so I can make the changes, but the kind of cheap outsourced markup that I was getting was so hard to work with, and it was the time was how is it this difficult? And then I had this really interesting experience with a mate of mine called Jay at a marketing conference, where it was quite a boozy conference, I must add. So I'm sat on a panel, we're taking questions, and my mate Jay asks, he's like, Andy, it's 2015. Why is it so difficult to get when I've got a sales page, why can't I just move my buy button from over here to over there? why do I need a developer? And why does it take the guy so damn long? And I believe my answer was, Jay, speaking as a developer that has to do things for people like you, fuck off. And like big laugh from the audience. It was great, and he didn't actually get a proper answer out of me. But it really nagged at me afterwards. I was like, you know what? That is a really good point. Why can't you just drag a button around? So that, like, my personal experience in that is where the original idea came from. And then my business partner Neil read about Amazon studies about page load speed and was like, we should try and do something with this. Like, this is going to be a big deal. And we looked into it and we saw how, we could make it work for us. And then kind of the combination of those experiences, it led up to like the V1 of Convertri and what it ultimately became.
So did you develop the V1 yourself, or you outsourced it, you hired a team for it?
So I built big chunks of it myself, and I did put about $80,000 of my own money in. I had a couple of developers join me from a previous company, so it wasn't just me, but I did build large chunks of it myself.
So let's talk about the development phase. So from day one till the MVP launch, the phase one launch, how long did that take?
So kind of a couple of parts to it. So we started tail end of 2015. We had like a 10-week build time in the run up to Christmas. And that was supposed to be like a V0.1 proof of concept to at least like prove we could do it. And honestly, that went bad, really bad.
What happened?
Like we hit Christmas and I was just like, at that point it was probably 15 grand in the hole. Like, I don't know, maybe not quite that, like certainly 10 grand in the hole, like looking at the proof of concept. And I know everyone says like, if you don't hate your like minimum sellable products, like you didn't launch early enough, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking, this was awful. Like there was just no way I could release that and not be laughed out of it. There were people launching $27 WordPress plugins that did more than this thing. It was rubbish. And that Christmas I was really depressed. I was really like, oh my God, like what have I done? And then between Christmas and New Year's, I had this epiphany about the freeform nature of it, that instead of doing like the really blocky editor, the sections, we could literally let people drag stuff around, put it where they wanted, hit go, and it will be live. And I knocked up a really simple proof of concept between Christmas and New Year's. And I literally mean you could drag like grey panels around and hit publish and then see it live. But that was pretty inspiring to me and the team. We were like, fuck yeah, like that's what we want. Let's do that. So then we started that kind of like first week in January back. We set a launch date there was a bit of drama with swapping launch dates around because we managed to double book with some of our closest partners that are planning a launch as well. So we had to change the launch at one point, but that was scheduled for back at like July 2016, like end of, so about 7 months worth of proper build. And as of about like end of March, start of April, we had a sort of V0.1 that was like a beta. It was awful. It was rubbish, but it was like usable awful, not kill yourself awful. And that was that went down really well. So we started getting all our marketing partners to start kicking the tires on it. We set up a Facebook group called the Software Shack, which was where we talked really openly about our software build process and what we were doing, what we were working on. So we got lots of people in the community involved in that. And then that kind of like started building on it. So we got more people using it, more people talking about us, more feature feedback coming on. We're talking about this stuff really openly. And that started building and building and building, heading into that launch.
So when did you actually start recruiting beta users? So from January, how long before you actually had the product ready for the beta users?
So roughly speaking, sort of like start of April was when we could start having beta users on it. So we had might have been like a bit later, but that kind of time frame, maybe a bit later April, but definitely like 3 months before launch, at least we had like real users kicking the tires on it, seeing what it could do.
What was your target for beta users and how did you get them? How many beta users did you want using your product and how did you get them?
We didn't really set a goal for it. We just literally as many as possible. We just, at that point, we set up an open sign up page. It was literally all you had to do was come along, stick your name and email address in with a password, and you just had an account on the system. So we had just, certainly within the sort of digital marketing community, we got quite a bit of buzz going. Like lots of like the affiliates started signing up and playing with it and being like, yeah, this is cool. You've got something here. a few people like launched their own products, like making the sales pages with it. So that was quite cool seeing it get a bit more use heading into like the big release of it in July.
Okay, and for your July release, when did you start recruiting your partners?
So full disclosure, I've been in this industry for a decade. I know a lot of people already. Mm-hmm. So to say it's not like I started cold recruiting at this point, mm-hmm. but I started properly beating the bushes about 12 weeks out. That's my general time frame for these things. So no one in the affiliate marketing industry commits to something 12 weeks out and then promotes it without they will forget. Like, people are too busy for that. But that's the point where you can reasonably like mention it and then come back, say 3 weeks later, and they won't have completely forgotten it. And then you can start it. So that was about 3 months to go is when I started like hitting up everyone on Skype and reaching out to people on Facebook and being like, we've got this thing is happening. Like, we want you to get involved in it. What does it take?
So let's talk about the actual launch. I know you guys did extremely well with it. So I'd love to talk about the actual launch, the nitty-gritties. How many affiliates did you have promoting you? What was the launch sequence? What happened? What went right and what didn't go right? Let's talk about that.
Sure. Okay. So it's hard to say how many affiliates we had. Like, we had a ton of people promote it, but like how many affiliates we had is a bit like, how many competing pages do you have for a term in Google? It's like, the top 10 matter. Mm-hmm. Everyone else is like, in our case, you're glad they promoted. It's not like I don't want every single one of those affiliates, but 80% plus of those sales are coming from 10 guys, and you don't necessarily know who those 10 guys are going to be until the day. Mm-hmm. But it's not like each incremental affiliate adds the same number of sales. Mm-hmm. So as a for example, for that launch, we sold $750,000 worth of products, and our top affiliate, a company called Videos, sold, I think it was about $150,000 of it. Right. That might be slightly high, but certainly 15 to 20% of the whole launch volume came from that one partner.
Okay, that's Joey, right? So
Joey Zoto, David Chamberlain, and Jamie Garson.
Relationship with him? Why? That's why they push you so much, or
sorry, say again.
Did you have a previous relationship with Joey? That's why he pushed you so much and got you 150,000 worth of sales.
Yeah. So I knew at that point, I knew David and Jamie a bit better than Joey. Like, I knew all of them, but I'd known David and Jamie for ages. Like, we met through a mutual acquaintance years before this. We stayed in touch. Like, they've helped me with some marketing stuff. I've helped them with some tech stuff, and we never quite found the right time to work together. Mm-hmm. This was after they'd had their big videos launch, so they had just a huge list to throw at it, and it was a really, really perfect storm for it.
Great. So let's talk about the offer. How did you structure the offer?
Cool. So in 2016, this would have been like the first one. That original one was quite a simple offer. So we had the front end was $297 for lifetime access to Convertri.
Okay.
Which we've never repeated. Like, that launch was the only time we've ever done that for 6 days. Mm-hmm. But even with that, like, it took us nearly a year to convince the market that we weren't bringing that lifetime deal back, because that's how it works in the internet marketing space, right? Mm-hmm. So $297 lifetime access to Convertri, and then we had a $37 a month template club as the upsell. Mm-hmm. And then we did a deal with a mate of mine called Colin Ferriot to package some of his copywriting training courses as an upsell number 2. So he did a deal where we got all of his training courses, I think, at $250, and we got 2 of them to sell for $250. Mm-hmm. And it was like 50% to the affiliate, 25% to me, 25% to him, minus whatever goes to like the network and PayPal and all of that junk.
Okay.
So that was the funnel. So $297 lifetime access to Convertri, $37 a month template club, and $250 for access to Colin's copywriting training.
So what does that mean in terms of customers and conversion rate from the front end offer to the back end?
So we sold just shy of 2,500 people on the front end, because we did $750,000 gross.
Wow.
Of which like Collins was like 10, 20 grand. The template club was put about 20K like monthly recurring on our books. Mm-hmm. So that leaves something like $700,000. So like $700,000 divided by 297, whatever that is in real money. Call it about 2,400 front end customers.
Wow. So did you expect something you were not expecting? Did you get anything which you were not expecting after the launch in terms of support or product backlash or new ideas, that kind of stuff? What did you learn?
We certainly didn't get much product backlash. I mean, it's an affiliate launch, so refunds are always reasonably high. I think we saw about a 10% refund rate on maybe about 12 on that front end product, and that's pretty normal, particularly for mid-ticket software, because there's a baseline of people for which it's just not going to work. Where, like, so plenty of people buy because of the urgency and then refund. Plenty of people, like, they've got some really old laptop with Internet Explorer 6. And they're like, it doesn't work. And we're like, yeah, it was never gonna. Here's your money back. So that's pretty standard to see those kind of refund rates. But I don't think, like, certainly of the people that like used it, there were a ton of feature gaps, things people wanted, but it wasn't like, oh my God, I can't use this. This is rubbish. It was just like, it would be better if type feedback.
Okay. So let's talk about your more recent launches with Convertri. How do you do things differently compared to how you did it the first time?
Cool. Okay. So the biggest difference is we developed what we call the hybrid funnel, which is basically, instead of having affiliates find it really hard to sell recurring on the front end. So we wanted something that wasn't a lifetime deal, but wasn't like front end recurring. And we hit on this idea of doing, all credit to my business partner, Neil. He came up with this shit. I'm just the face of the company, so I get to take credit. So we still did 297 front end. It's a proven price point. It's certainly getting affiliates to promote it. Affiliates get really nervous above that. Like, they'll believe you can sell 297 off a sales page. They don't believe you can sell 497 off a sales page. So your affiliate drop-off is quite high between the two price points. And we were too chicken shit to experiment with 397. Let's be honest about it. So we did 297 for a year's worth of access to what was then the standard plan. And so this is the 2017 one I'm talking about at the moment. So year's worth of access to the standard plan, 297. Then $37 a month to upgrade to Pro, which was so similar to the Template Club, but now it was like Template Club and team members and dynamic text and additional features. So that, in fact, that's a lie. In 2017, we did agency as the upsell, which was $97 a month. So 297 for 12 months of access, upselling into agency for $97 a month, and then downselling into Pro for $37 a month. That's right.
So how many launches have you done so far for Convertri?
We've done 3 plus like some, like, obviously a load of private promos as well. But three big launches, 2016, 2017, 2019.
Okay. So are you doing those launches where you want to get loads of customers paying up front coming in and then hoping that once 12 months is over, they'll convert to recurring revenue customers? Yeah,
and not just after 12 months either. So if they pay 297 for a year but upgrade to, say, Pro for $37, they get to keep all of it for $37. There's never anything else to pay, so the lock-in on that's quite high. That's really good. So that at that point they're getting we don't do these deals anymore. That's why I'm really happy to talk about it. It's so at that point it was like $69 a month through the front door, but if you paid like the 297 one time, that became one time, got on the 37 a month, like we still have loads of people paying us $37 a month from getting onto those deals, so that's really good for lock-in.
Right. So I was speaking to someone earlier, and how things are working for them is they use the lifetime deal. They consider the lifetime deal as a paid premium, where they've got the customer who's paid for it, and then the big target is to convert them into recurring revenue, MRR customers. That's been working really well for them.
A better model as long as the product's simple enough. The problem we have is Convertri is really complicated. Like, it's got lots of moving parts. Like, there's just more to support. So let's talk about videos for a moment, who are just like the epitome of this stuff. They're amazing. They have their, I can't remember, they go back and forth, I think, between 67 and 97 on the front. One time, lifetime access to some amount of the templates, and then get our 1200 template club, $37 a month. Like, when you have an app as simple as videos that is like, it's a list of templates and then 3 buttons, that shit is amazing. I'm so jealous of them. And the like lifetime on the front really works.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't when like it's a lot harder. Like the value in Convertri isn't in the vast array of templates. The value in Convertri is in the flexibility of the builder.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just so much harder to limit on the front without making it a cheeky offer.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to charge more, and we can't just give lifetime access to something on the front, which does limit our lead gen. Like they generate way more leads, they make way more money than I do. It's with a simpler product, it's better model, no question.
Mm-hmm. So the launches have been working extremely well for you. Have you tried to delve into paid marketing or content marketing or anything like that?
Honestly, we've done a bit of it. Like we run some Facebook ads, we've done a bit of content marketing, but it's that weird dividing line. Like there's the SaaS received wisdom where everyone's like, you get told two things, right? Double down on what's working and don't rely on a single channel. And they're not compatible. Like you can't do both of those things. But we seem to have like swerved more towards the double down on what's working. So even for at the moment, for example, we've just put our prices up literally this past Tuesday. We've removed all of the previous offers, like they're just not available anymore. Mm-hmm. We're driving up market, but even there, we're driving up market going after relationship deals. So we've got a bunch of resellers lined up who are going to put our product into their funnels. And so they'll start selling that. And then instead of us taking the money and paying them an affiliate commission, they take the money and pay us a licensing fee, which means they can play around with the selling of it. They can make it more congruent to their audience. It's kind of like the affiliate marketing plus version, but it's all the same thing. It's a relationship deal. Like I go out there, I hustle, I talk to people, I convince them this is a good deal for them, and it's a great deal. They'll make a ton of money off it, and then that's how we make our money. And I would love to be doing Facebook ads right now. Again, I'm clearly like jealous of videos, so I'm going to bring them up again. Like they are killing it with Facebook ads at the moment. And it's in part because Facebook ads are so cheap right now. Like all the big companies have stopped spending there. So the inventory is really cheap and you can make tons of money off it, but we just don't have that channel.
Great. So Andy, let's go back. So imagine you were just starting out. And you have a great product which you know works and you've had beta users use it, but you don't have a clue how to sell it. And that person is watching this video. What advice would you give them to recruit affiliates to promote the product?
Sure. Okay. So I think the best piece of advice I can offer is everyone trying to get into affiliate marketing thinks they're giving up 50% of money that was already theirs, rather than realizing they're getting 50% of money that they were never going to get otherwise. And that's quite an important mindset shift it took me ages to get over it as well. I was just lucky enough to do it 10 years ago. But this is literally everyone that tries to do this always does the same thing. It's like, oh my God, I'm offering them so much money. Why won't they do it? And it's like, there's 10 offers a day launching. These affiliates can promote any single one of them. You're in competition with all of them. If your launch is 6 days long, that's like 60 fucking offers you're competing with. Yours has to be the best. They can mail one. So your offer has to be freaking amazing, and not just to the customer, but to the affiliate as well. Some of the best advice I ever got about recruiting affiliates was to go and read everything I could about wholesale and retail sales. So there's this thing where big manufacturers try and get into wholesaling to get into resale stores, like for tennis rackets, for example. And they don't understand why those stores won't carry their goods. They're just like, it's the best tennis racket in the world. Why won't it? And there's some like stock manager who's like, I can't take your tennis racket. It doesn't fit on our shelves. Like your hook does not hang on our shelves. I can't buy it. And the ones that win are the ones that realize that it's all about making that stock manager's life super easy. It needs to fit on their shelves. It needs to fit in with all the other packaging. There needs to be ad spend to go along with it. There needs to be it needs to be a great product that will sell a lot, but it has to have all of these other factors, and they're just as important. It's not product first and all of this stuff secondary. If you don't have all of it, you make no sales. That stuff's just super important.
So someone is starting out, he wouldn't have a clue how to structure the offer. So, okay, fair enough, he's got a product that's working, but he doesn't know how to make it attractive for the affiliate. So the affiliate gets to make a lot of money. How does he know that? Does he need a mentor? What does he just need to learn and by trial and error?
I was going to say, I don't think mentors help, but I don't think it's necessary these days, because you can literally go to a site like munchai.com and see a list of all the launch. If you look at the left-hand column, like guys like me, our launches are listed there. There's at least one a day. Like you're guaranteed that anyone in blue on the left is a strong player. They know the game inside out. That is going to be a big launch. Like, just look at every offer that is run on that column for like a month, and you'll know 90% of the playbook. And you won't like it, because you're going to see just how much of your launch you're going to be giving to other people. You're going to see how big the prize money is. You're going to see how big the affiliate commissions are. You won't see the amount of like hustle and side deal that happens, but you'll see the structures. You'll see it's the same patterns over and over again. And just realize that affiliates with mailing lists want to do the rain dance. They don't want new. They don't want creative. They don't want some amazing new business model that isn't proven. They want to do the same thing they did last week on your product. So make it look as close as you can to the same thing. Take the same price points, take the same angles, take the same like sales page. Like, there's the other thing you hear from every fucker that tries to get into this industry. They go, oh, my product's different. It's so much better. It doesn't need one of those long form sales pages. It's like, and if you don't have one, no fucker's going to promote it.
Yeah, it looks too
Make it look the same.
Exactly. So one last question, Andy. What's your plan for the next couple of years? Do you have any other products in the pipeline, or are you going to keep promoting Convertri? What's the plan?
We're definitely all about Convertri. We've got no other plans. Like we have developed some sort of like companion products like Quizitry, but they're all like part of the whole. It's not like a separate thing. And we're like, certainly sales channel wise, we're pretty much all in on the reseller front. So we've cut some pretty big deals already. Apologies, it's the one bit that's NDA, so I can't talk about who they are. But basically, we're in some really big funnels now. It's like the upsells; they've got their own product, and then we're upsell number 1 or 2, which should drive some pretty significant volume this year.
Great.
And hopefully, touch wood, because we've been growing basically 100% a year for 3 years.
It's funny. You've been doing the same thing which you're doing right now, which is talking to people, building up relationships, getting people to promote you. You started off with affiliates, and now you're just speaking to bigger people where they can you're trying to make bigger deals. So I think that's a lesson there, that you should be out there speaking to people all the time. And I do see you in the forums as well. You're just giving out advice, building those relationships, and that's how I got to know you as well. So I think you're doing the same thing you were doing 10 years ago, building relationships, but you're doing bigger deals now.
It's just a bigger scale. But it's the affiliate marketing industry. It's a relationship business. It's like Convertri. It is a top tier product. Like, I am really proud of it, but that's not the only reason people promote it. Like, they promote it because they like me. They promote it because some of my biggest affiliates, like, it's definitely not true of videos, but like some of my biggest affiliates are guys that I help to make their first sale. Like, I'm out there every day. Like, I help people. I do copy reviews for people. I'll help fix their like affiliate thing. I come on shows like this, SaaS growth hacks, like offering advice. And it's just like constant outreach, constant. Like, I want, when people see my name, they're like, oh, that's Andy. Like, he's a nice guy. Like, he's helpful. And then that's why they take my call. That's why when I call them up and I'm like, that doesn't guarantee they'll promote, but that guarantees when I Skype them, when I like, if I pinged you on Facebook Messenger tomorrow, like, you'd be like, oh, it's Andy. Like, you would want to know what I had to say. And that's the reaction I'm going for. Like, that doesn't guarantee you'll do anything for me, but you'll fucking read what it is I want you to do. And that's half the battle.
Great. I think I'll leave it at that. Thank you very much, Andy. That was a lot of advice. Thank you very much for coming on the show, and hopefully...
You're welcome. Oh, thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. Bye.